play at home. And, of course, the last game that we played here was AMU, and I thought that would possibly be my last home game ever at Villanova. And now, all of a sudden, we have a playoff game. So it's pretty nice to go back into our locker room and our stadium and the confines of Villanova Stadium where I've spent 32 years. And, it's very rewarding for me to have one more game on home turf.
And talk about St. Francis. You were talking about them 5 minutes ago. They're a team that played against Towson really good. They played against Albany. What do you see that might give you a problem on Saturday?
Well, number one, their size. They're a big physical team, and they run extremely well. And I think that coming into our game, this is their first playoff experience. For sure that, and I know that they'll be sky high. So you're going to have a very emotional team coming into our stadium. That is, emotion can carry you a long way in the playoffs. I know that they want to prove themselves for sure, and they certainly have themselves. Obviously, you take a game in Montana, and then you're playing 2 CAA teams on your schedule. You're a pretty heady group ready to play football. So I'm concerned about that. They have a lot of team speed. I'm hoping that we can match up with them early on.
Well, I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Same to you.
Radio, Baltimore, Maryland.
Hi, Austin. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Just talk about St. Francis' offense. I know you guys just got done playing Delaware, and now you're switching to a playoff game. What do you see early about their offense?
They have a big offensive line. Probably one of the bigger ones we'll see in CAA. They have big guys up front. And they have two pretty big running backs that run pretty hard, and they'll try to run the ball as much as they can. Then when they do throw it, they have a big 6'4", I think like 210 wide receiver, who's pretty good. So I know it's going to be another game where a team tries to run the ball on us and we like that because we have a pretty good run defense. And when they do go up top, I have all the faith in the world in our team.
Yeah. Question for I know this is Coach Talley's last. I don't want to make it the last playoff game. Is there a lot of pressure on you guys to keep this thing going for Coach Talley?
There's no pressure from him. I think we put more pressure on each other, and he tells us not to do that and just have fun with it. But you can't help put a little pressure on yourself, especially when you want to keep Coach Talley, such a great coach, his career going as long as we think it should be going.
Well, good luck and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, too.
Hey, Chris Mack, how you doing?
Doing great, Chris. How you doing today, bud?
Doing great. Congratulations on the big playoff streak you guys are having. That's great that you guys are 13 straight years in the playoffs. That's fantastic.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that, man.
Talk about Lehigh. What do you see on film? I know they play a lot of Lehigh. Talk about them. What you see early in getting ready for them.
We've watched them, and they're a dynamic football team offensively. They do a terrific job. You watch the way that they spread the field. Watch how they stretch people out with their run-pass option offense. Quarterback, is very. They have two very good quarterbacks to start with, and Stefanski, I don't know how to say it yet. I know I'm going to learn how to say it. Is a kid that has extremely amount of mobility, can move and win with his feet. Plus, he can throw from any angle. He does a hell of a job. The receivers, the Pelletier kid. He's a New Hampshire kid that we recruited. He's a terrific athlete, big, strong kid. I'm really impressed with North, the slot receiver they have there. He's very athletic, quick, gets open and runs the ball after it. And, their kid Casey, the other receiver, he's good. So there's three really good ones there. Then their running back, Raglione, is something special. You watch him. Reminds me a lot of a former player here, Chris Setty. He's 5'11", 215, strong, powerful. And he's athletic and fast. That's some really good things. So offensively, they're going to stretch our defense. We're going to have to play well to keep in front of us. Defensively, they keep getting better. They got the ability to run the football. And Calitro is the best defensive football player getting to the ball as a linebacker.
The Patriot League, they don't get a lot of respect because it seems like they're very good conference. They got good teams. They got Georgetown and football and all that stuff, and plus Lehigh. Do you think are they an upcoming league in your mind?
Well, I know what they can do. They beat us last year in the playoffs, Chris. Yeah. Believe me, everybody's in tennis here in Durham are on high support here, man. We know what's got coming into the stadium on Saturday. We know what the Patriot League is. There's no disrespect to that league. It's a good football league. We have had tremendous games with Lehigh, Colgate, Holy Cross. We're going to have to play hard. We're going to have to play really well to beat this football team, and we better be ready to play.
Well, I want to wish you and your family and the organization a happy Thanksgiving.
I appreciate that, Chris. You two guys down in Baltimore, man.
All right. Hey, Coach Rocco, how you doing?
Outstanding.
Just talk about the MEAC schools, because this is the second year in a row you're playing against another MEAC football team. I think last year you played against Morgan. I think you did.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Talk about the MEAC. What type of league is that? Because it seems like they're like a very good, quiet league, and nobody gives anybody respect for them.
Yeah, I mean, I everything I've seen is the quality. I mean, there's no doubt about the quality and the talent in the league. And then there's no doubt about the coaching in the league. I was very impressed with the Morgan State team we played 2 years ago. We were able to get up on them and kind of extend the lead. But, I mean, it was a hard-fought, tightly contested football game. I do think here just recently, and again, I'm not an expert by any stretch on it, but I thought I saw two of the best teams in that league play Saturday in the A&T and Central game. And, like I said, they both look the part physically. They both are well coached. They execute well. A&T, I thought, was dynamic at tailback. I think his tailback is, it's hard to compare, but he's as good as anybody in this league. I may not say better, but he's as good as any back in this league, and that says an awful lot. So I'm really impressed with the league. I've had some history in playing the league, both when I was at Liberty and, as you stated, here at Richmond.
Right.
And I certainly, it'd be easy for me to say, well, I don't think the MEAC should be in the FCS if their first place team is going to go to a bowl game. But when it's all said and done, I think the body of work, the quality of football, I think is certainly worthy. So I've got great respect for that.
And plus, you're playing a team from the state of North Carolina, and they have great schools in North Carolina, like Duke, Wake Forest, even those guys. So that's a good hot play for football.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. They're recruiting really good kids, and that's evidenced, I think, in just looking at their roster. A lot of these boys on their roster are boys that we were very familiar with coming out of high school, as we have done a real thorough job down in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, Coach Rocco, have a great Thanksgiving.
Same to you. Thank you very much.
See, getting ready for that game because they have a good running game. The passing game is there some weeks. Last week they struggled a little bit in the red zone against Rutgers. What do you see on film?
Well, I think you see a football team that's improved greatly over the course of the year. Barkley's an outstanding running back. Has great vision, jump cut runner, spin runner, spins on contact. McSorley's a guy that can create as a quarterback. They do a good job with play action passes, RPOs, things of that nature. But he can create. Receivers are top-notch receivers. Tight end's a guy that can make big plays, and they play very well offensively.
And I know you guys have a tough season, 3-8 right now. With the win on Saturday, will that make you feel better to get into the next year on a positive note?
Yeah, I think you always want to end things going on a high note, regardless of where you're at. The difference between, even last year going to the playoff game and lose that football game, as opposed to winning the 4 previous bowl games, sends you in a different direction sometimes. So we definitely want to win this football game. We'll be challenged to do it. It's our last game for our seniors, so it'll be a big game in that capacity as well. So looking forward to the challenge. We need to be competitive, and will be.
How you doing? Good. How are you? I'm doing great. I watched last week against Rutgers. In the first half, you guys were in the red zone a lot. I only walked away with 3 field goals. Did you guys overpress yourself in the half to try to get more points, or what happened?
think, I don't know if you can tell watching that game on TV, but the weather conditions were really, really difficult. Probably the worst weather conditions I've ever played in or coached in as a coach. And we didn't do a great job handling those things early on in the game, but as the game went on, we did a great job of handling it, ran the ball really well, which you're going to need to do in those weather conditions, and did what we needed to do to be successful.
And Michigan State coming to town this weekend, they're a tough, no matter what their record is. What do you see on film that might give you an issue Saturday afternoon at 3:30?
Well, I think the last 2 weeks they've played great football. 2 weeks ago they shut an opponent out and put up big numbers and big points and yards, and then last week they took the number 2 team in the country to a 1-point game. So the last 2 weeks they've been playing like the Michigan State that we all have become familiar with the last couple of years.
Well, I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too, sir.
Doing well, sir.
I talked to you last year. The first game you coached was against Notre Dame. What are you seeing from that point to this point with Notre Dame?
Well, seems like a lifetime ago. The team that I see in front of us is just as talented as personnel-wise as we saw last year. I've been very, very impressed. Quarterback, in Kaiser, true dual threat back that has thrown for over 2,700 yards and has rushed for over 500. He kind of leads the way. He's got some skilled weapons around him, like he did last year. I think St. Brown has gotten even bigger and better than last year. I think Josh Adams did a really nice job of carrying the load in the run game. Defensively, I've been overly impressed with their defensive front, size-wise and athletically. The 2 linebackers in Niles and Walu, I think are 2 of the better kids that we've faced all year. Not only applying pressure, but from getting the ball down. So this team is it's a team that has very talented personnel, just like last season, and has just lost close games. And we look at it, they've lost, in their 7 losses, they've lost 6 of them by a touchdown or less. So got a team on our hand that's talented, that has just lost a lot of close games.
And talking about your team, it seemed like in the beginning of the year you guys had ups and downs. Now it seems like you guys are clicking on all cylinders. So what's been the difference beginning of the year and now?
Yeah, I think anytime you put a new staff together, 3 new coordinators, 5 new position coaches, I think we all came together as a complete team, staff, players. It just improved each and every week. I looked at us from when we started against Alabama, when we played very good football, to getting better when we went to Stanford, better when we got to Utah. And even though we were 1-3, I really felt that we were making a great run with this team because I saw improvement. I saw guys working to get better, and I saw a team that was really gelling together. You just keep on working at it and keep on improving each and every week, and hopefully you're playing your best football by the time you hit November, where it's mattering most. And very fortunate that's what's happened. I can honestly say we're playing some of our best football of the season right now.
Well, I want to wish you and your family and the organization a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Talk about NC State's running defense. They look like a pretty good, running defense on that defensive line. So is that going to be a problem on Saturday or Friday?
I mean, it's definitely going to be a challenge. I mean, they're really good up front. Their linebackers fit well. They pride themselves on stopping the run. I think they're, maybe giving up just a little over 100 yards a game rushing. And so, we've got our work cut out for us. We've got to be able to run the ball effectively.
And with this game against NC State and against you play other games in North Carolina, does this help recruiting for next year and years past down the road?
Yeah, it always does. I mean, just anytime you're playing your rival, I mean, you want to win a football game because there's so many different factors involved in, from your fans to recruits to everybody involved.
Well, I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
From FM Radio, Baltimore, Maryland.
Hi, Dino. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing great. Do you believe? I know you guys are 4-7. Do you believe? Would you accept a bowl bid if you guys win on Saturday?
A lot of
that stuff is up to the administration and the university and the chancellor. But the one thing that I like to always point out is that anytime you're rebuilding a new football team, the more practices that you can get, the faster the rebuilding job happens. And the way NC2A rules are with limitations on spring practices and whatnot, it's always of value to get the extra practices for the younger players. So I'll leave it at that, and let's see if we can win the game first.
And talk about Pitt's running back Connor coming back from that cancer. Now he's fully healthy and he's just enjoying his season. Is that a great story for the ACC and for college football?
I really do. I really do think it's a great story. I'll even give you one better. My first official act. I shouldn't say one better. One not as good, but just to show you how close I am to Connor. My first official act as the head football coach at Bowling Green was to attend their bowl game, which was Bowling Green versus Pittsburgh. And I stood on that sideline and watched the team play while I watched Connor run the football. And I think he even got a sack in that game, if I'm not mistaken, playing defensive end. And I'm sitting there going, wow, that's what a running back looks like. And now here it is, 3 years later, and we're going down to Heinz Field, and I'm about to see him up close and personal again with a defense that's beat up and a bunch of young guys up on the front. It could be a nightmare, but hopefully it'll be something that we may be able to talk about for a long time.
Well, I want to wish you and your organization a happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Maryland.
Hi, Bobby. How you doing?
Good, Christopher. How you doing?
Doing great. I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving in the beginning.
Well, same to you.
Talk about Kentucky. Do you like playing Kentucky at the end of the year, more like a rivalry game? Because I know Louisville used to play them at the beginning of the year as the first game of the year. Is it better to play them at the end of the year so you can make it more like a rivalry type thing?
Yeah, we've settled into it being the last game of the season and on rivalry weekend. I think it's good for us. It's good for the state. And, we're excited about it.
And just talk about Kentucky. What do you see on film? I know they're playing really well right now. They're playing better than last year, or I think they were good last year too. So what do you see this year on film that's going to give you a problem on Saturday?
Yeah, they're playing well. They're running the ball really well. They've got a quarterback now that they like that can throw it down the field and scramble out and make plays with his legs. Defensively, they're very sound. They're not making a lot of mistakes, and they're very good in the secondary, so we've got a great challenge.
Well, good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Maryland.
Hey, Jimbo, how you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Doing great. Talk about Florida. Talk about this rivalry between Florida and Florida State. People don't realize this is a very good rivalry down there. It's basically, it's similar to the Miami rivalry. It's like if you win, yeah, pretty much.
It's huge now. This is the old rivalry. The rivalry that a lot of folks have meant so much because in the heyday of getting Florida State on even keel, it's the 19th time both teams have played. They're both in the top 15. They got great tradition, both teams. It's one of the great rivalries in all of college football. One you're very blessed to ever be a part of.
And talk about Florida's run defense. Last week they had a great stop at the goal line against LSU. Are they a tough defense to try to run on Saturday?
Without a doubt. Their front people they're one of the tops in the country. Front people play the run extremely well. Linebackers and downhill safeties are tackles. They're downhill physical guys. Make no load the box on you, try to make you beat them over the top, and then tackle in space, play physical. They're a heck of a defense. Very well coached and good players.
Well, I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving.